Hello, this is Spellbinder doing a special news report on something I did. I like filling out petitions sometimes, and I filled out the one on the Read the Bills Act. And I decided I would do a video here of what the results were of that action and the two representatives that responded back to me, and how diametrically they're different from each other. There's a I'm concerned and I'm not so concerned point of view. First, the not so concerned, but after I read what I wrote. And this is, please introduce the Read the Bill Act. I know you have the power to introduce this bill without waiting for anyone else. You can find the legislative text here at Downsize Organization legislation that there shall be no more of this. You've got to pass the bill so that we can find out what's in it. Nancy Pelosi, Democrat, California, crap any longer. That's what I said. I don't sign any document without reading the fine print. So why does the electorate sign 1,000+ page bills without reading the whole bill first? This is like you guys and girls want to be swindled by the lobbyists. The list of wrongs with this from form of practice is you congressmen are lawyers and many others are businessmen. And you know that fiduciary responsibility is Congress, you have not met this duty for a long time. Instead, you curiously pass mammoth bills that none of you have read, sometimes printed on copies that aren't even available when you vote. That's a shame. Often, no one knows what these bills contain, or what they really do, or what they will really cost. Shame. Additions and deletions are made at the last minute in secrecy. Shame. You know, you're known to combine unpopular proposals with popular measures that few in Congress want to oppose. This practice is called log rolling. Shame. And your votes are held with little debate and public notice. Shame. Oh, and once these bills are passed and one of these unpopular proposals comes to light, you pretend to be shocked. How did that get in there? Huh. Congress would say, Congress knows there's a basic principle at stake here. America was founded on the slogan, no taxation without representation. A similar slogan applies to this situation. No legislation without representation. We hold this truth to be self-evident, that those in Congress who vote on the legislative or they have not represented their constituents. They have misrepresented them. Please stop this madness and repeal all bills passed in the government that haven't been read before passage and re-examine what's in them. Bills of populist concern are from 2000 till present. As a constituent, you make me feel like you all need replacing with new blood untainted by foreign lobbyist corruption. You all read the bills, even if they are 2,000+ pages. I don't care how long it takes. You must read, debate, and discuss before passing any bill before you. No more pencil whipping bills. We did not hire you for that position or purpose. We selected you to represent the people of Ohio, not the feds who openly support foreign interests, the UN, and lost. Then I get a reply back from, her name is Senator Sherrod Brown, Democrat. Dear Spellbinder, thank you for sharing your support for the Read the Bills Act, an initiative of a group of downsized DC, so they're already informed about them. The sentiment behind this proposal that elected representatives should understand what they are voting on is a commendable one. The dangers of rushed debate have been amply illustrated in the past. Now, Here's the clincher. This is a true Democrat progressive. Unfortunately, this proposal would result in practically blocking any action by Congress at all. It would require that every bill, every amendment, every bill, and every law amendment in every bill be read aloud on the floor before either the chamber of Congress or my vote. Well, if you didn't make them 2,000 plus pages long, it wouldn't take that long, would it? Which was make them back when they were 150 years ago. About, maybe less than a dozen pages. And you could sit around discussing for a while, not this 2,000 page mammoth that I wish you would just sit there and go through if it takes 10 years. Ooh, this is what I'm up against. It also requires that before voting, members of Congress swear under penalty and perjury that they have sat through the entire reincitation or the previous completed the required reading, and it gives anyone the right to seek injunctive relief to the bathroom break during marathon readings of an underlying provision of the law. Well, yeah, I don't care what it says. It says the truth. You guys going to write these big laws. You're going to be responsible. They got to go through and read these laws and understand what you're reading and debate them and come out there with, this is what the people want. My constituents tell me I want this. And see, this is how this government works, this constitutional government. And that's why I want to return to. Then she goes on and says, I believe, no, this is probably a script letter put out by somebody in her PR who wrote this for her. So, Sharon Rod Brown, I wish you would have had a better letter written personal to some of these responses. Anywho, she says, I believe in developing legislation that would meaningfully and particularly reform the House and Senate rules and give every representative an opportunity to look over the pending legislation before casting a vote. I also believe that the vote on a major legislation should not be taken in the middle of the night, allowing the American people a practical opportunity to monitor the business being done in their name. Thank you for sharing the views on congressional accountability. There she is, Sherrod Brown, United States Senator, October 20th. Me, Spellbinder. They're nice enough to do that. Okay, now I'm going to bring this up. And this is going to be Tribili. Triberry. Patrick Triberry sent me this. It says, Dear Spellbinder, thank you for your recent correspondence regarding legislative transparency. I certainly appreciate this opportunity to correspond with you. See, their PR is a lot nicer. I agree with you. You will be pleased to know that I am a co-responder of the House of Representatives 554, the legislation to require that bills and conference reports are available on the internet for 72 hours before consideration, and I have signed and discharged petition and signed a discharge petition to bring the bill to the floor of the House of Representatives for consideration. I believe it is essential that the legislation be debated in a fair, open, and honest way. Congress should have public hearings in the appropriate committees. In the next text of the Times, House Democratic leaders have forced a vote. It says the measure should be available online, for at least 1 week. Too many times the House of Democrat leaders have forced a vote of legislation hundreds of pages long after allowing only a few hours to review it. For example, House Democrats introduced a 300-page amendment to the 1,200-page cap and trade, or cap and steel bill, or cap and tax, at 3:09 a.m. on the day it was construed. As you may remember, that is the same way Democrats passed 1,001-page stimulus spending bill that accounted to the Democrats supposed to create or save millions of jobs immediately. I oppose both of these measures. Thanks again for sharing your views with me. Please do not hesitate to contact me or my assistant for the future. Patrick Terberry, Representative Congress, Republican. See, there's a difference between night and day. This guy was so much nicer in how he spoke about it. And he even had support saying, well, I'm doing something. And then, in a way, I guess Sherrod Brown was also responsible. She just spoke exactly. Unfortunately, we can't do this. This doesn't give us enough power. I mean, this is the type of crap that I'm talking about coming out of these people. Both sides are like, I don't know to trust either of you. One's really nice, goes along with what I'm saying. Is he really sincere? Where his votes does back him up. I have to judge him by his fruits, and I judge her by her fruits. And like a Democrat, she went along with the system. She never filled out the forms that were sent out by our organizations that I have newsletters from that sent these things out to answer about bills and stuff that they passed or whatever. They give their if they're for libertarianism or for a more strict totalitarianism or tyranny of our government under fascism. I mean, we're going that way no matter what. But it was nice to go over this with you and let you see that what's going on here. I mean, I got night and day responses from this. Well, until next time, I guess this is all I really had to say. I mean, we seem to be at a voting point where we can put our one party back in and hope it's better than the one that we just are just now taking out. I mean, there's really not enough libertarians or constitutionalists or anything running out there getting the vote to actually cause a change, getting them in there. And I know they'll be shunned because that's what usually happens with these individuals that run independent. They're shunned out of the race and they don't get a chance. You have to run under a party name. Ron Paul knew that. That's why he had to run under a party name like Republicans, because he said, I've tried to go the other way. You don't have as many rights as the Democrats and Republicans, and you're not allowed in a lot of activities that they're both allowed into. It's not right. The government's not right. I've been trying to get this through for a long time. I figured this little response that I made with them would be a different type of thing. It's pretty wild. This is what I wrote. They responded. Well, be good at it. Have a very good day. And keep an eye on these guys. They're trying to pull a fast one-overs at any time they can to get elected. So you got to look at their fruits. See what they did in the past. Good day.